This banana will help you improve your photography. Alright, maybe not this one. Perhaps that one. You don't want to wait until I've post-processed this one. So the obvious question I know you're asking is, how can a banana, maybe not that one, but how can any banana help me improve my photography? I'll show you. Bananas are brilliant photographic subjects. Their yellowness can create lighting challenges for sure, and some camera sensors might overdo yellow a little bit. I know this one has a tendency to, particularly in bright light. But their curvedness of the average banana, at the very least, I'm not entirely certain that's an average banana. I think the one's probably a little below average. But the curvedness gives you an opportunity of shooting perhaps down it and perhaps from an angle, and that gives you the opportunity of focus fall off, therefore adding a bit of creativity. But whilst you're doing that, it remains pretty obvious that it's a banana. I mean, even in black and white, there's not a lot of mistake in it, is there? Their skins change a great deal throughout the ripening process as well, of course. So at their unripe stage, we have the green colour, and as they begin to sweeten up and then become the traditional yellow, retaining some of the green shading in them as well. So there's an interest there. And of course, when they become overripe, yeah, they look less appetizing, but are nonetheless photogenic. The subtle textures on the skin of a banana can provide some really interesting macro opportunities. And of course you can get close up into something like the stem here. And again, even that is interesting because on this side we have an old callus of where the hand has been kind of ripped apart. And here we have the new damage that I created just a few minutes ago when I took it off the hand that's on the dresser behind me. And that's all before we've broken into this chimp favourite. Oh, and I'm told they make great slippers. Great slippers. Tough crowd. In my last video, which there's a link in the corner up here, I sought out mundane everyday objects in the outside environment and found ways of shooting them that made the mundane interesting. I do recommend you go and take a look at that video after watching this. Although they're quite different, they're talking about much the same thing. Yes, it's bananas here and it was fishing bits and bobs in the last one, but the point is there's still mundane everyday items that you can make interesting with photography, which after all, that's what we're trying to do here. So in this video I thought I'd choose just one subject and focus entirely on that and find multiple ways of shooting it in a creative way. Doing this will force you to look at the banana in different ways. Basically, you need to fully explore the potential of the banana. However, of course, it really could be any object that you choose. Small or large, all you need to do is make sure that that object remains the focus of your photography. Find interesting ways of shooting it. But for now, I recommend you go and buy some bananas. So of course, this concept of choosing an object works in many art forms. A drama student may be given a banana and told, for instance, to write and perform a monologue about it. In the TV show Taskmaster, a bunch of comedians might be asked to do something outrageous with a banana. And drawing classes might use it to help them develop their skills in perspective, light and shadow. The point of all of these exercises is that you take one subject and work the arse off of it. Now, because I'm shooting inside, I'm going to need to find some lighting sources. Of course, I could use window light, and it is, after all, going to be one of the softest light sources that I can find. I also chose to use my light box, which gives me a lot of control over the lighting. However, I did not use the big ring light inside of it, primarily because all I'm really going to get out of that is some very kind of flat light that's good for shooting maybe the banana as a kind of product shot against a flat background. And whilst it's a legitimate shot, you know, if you were selling a banana, for instance, on Amazon, you'd probably want to cut it out and stick it on a white background, and it's great for that, but it's not really creative, is it? So instead, what I used was my little Ulanzi LED lights. They're little RGB lights, little square things, which you'll have seen before if you watched the channel on a regular basis. I think these things are brilliant. There will be links down below in the description for purchasing the lights and indeed the light tent. I do recommend these things, they're very good. Now the light box has got a reflective material on the inside of it with little dimples all around it, which helps bounce the light around, and also because of the little dimples they create little softening effects. So the light within the light box itself, no matter what the source of the light, unless it's pointing directly at the banana or whatever subject you're using, does get softened quite a lot, and it's rather nice. If you needed to reduce light bounce a little more, you could just tape a piece of paper over the reflective surface with a piece of masking tape. It would come off easily, it won't leave any residue. It's a very versatile setup. Using my two little RGB LED lights in the light box gave me a great deal of lighting opportunity, as I could position them around inside and get the light exactly where I wanted. However, at close quarters the lighting can be a little harsh and the beam spread can be a little big. You can see the blue light behind me is one of those lights in use right now. So instead I jerry-rigged the snoot. It's just an empty coffee tin with a hole drilled in the end of it and gaffer taped onto the light. It works perfectly well. Yeah, it's not the perfect snoot, but it does get that beam of light down from a big spread to something far more kind of, I hesitate to call it pinpoint because there's no focus on it, but it allows me to hit parts of the banana rather than the whole banana. And because it's an old coffee tin that I've drilled a hole in, if I just put a bit of gaffer tape back over the hole, I've still got a storage jar. I don't think I'd put coffee back in it, but maybe screws or something. And of course, when I need it to be a lighting modifier again, I just take the tape off and tape it back onto the light. But this is all easy stuff, right? You'd probably find the first 10, maybe 15 shots really easy. Different lights, different angles, looking down the thing. It's all relatively simple stuff. In actual fact, perhaps the toughest challenge you might have found with any of it was actually supporting the banana, suspending the banana, propping it up somehow. But it's after you've got those initial 10, 15 easy shots that things suddenly start getting a little bit more challenging. And that's the point of the exercise. Any monkey can take 15 half-decent shots of a banana from different angles with different lights, different lenses, whatever. That's the easy bit. Now's the time to get creative because you've exhausted the simple stuff. Before we go on, I would like to ask you a favour. If you're finding this video in any way interesting, inspiring, whatever, please click the like button, and if you want to see more, click the subscribe button. So within the Lightbox environment, there's only so many ways that you can work with the banana. You could suspend it in different ways, you can clamp it in different ways, you can prop it up, you can light it in different ways. But the environment itself is a little basic. So it's time to start thinking outside of the light box. Do you see what I did there? What about peeling a banana? Now there's so many more possibilities. With its flirtatious skin peeled away, the now naked banana exhibits some very different qualities. The texture of the fruit now absorbs more light and it creates different lighting challenges. Sure, you can still blow out the highlights on it with the wrong exposure, the light's too close or too bright, but it's actually less of a challenge. Now the rules of this exercise are to photograph the banana. The rules aren't to photograph only the banana. It's to be creative with the banana, and there's nothing to say you can't have something else in the shot. Now, of course, there will be a subset of you that will have the kind of thoughts that would, if put into practice, demonetize this video. That's really not where I'm going. A self-portrait with the banana is probably the order of the day here, and it's well within the rules. We could arrange a still life with the banana, perhaps something in the kitchen with a chopping board. Perhaps I could shoot the banana in a way in which I would generally use the banana. Stop it! In a way that I would generally use the banana of a morning. I said stop. I have them for breakfast, often with porridge or other cereals. We could, of course, wrap the banana in tin foil and bake it and take photographs perhaps of it in the oven. Maybe we take photographs of it in its mushy dessert baked stage. And then there's these skins. Now, I don't know. Does that hold some interest as a photographic subject? What about banana ICM? That must have been IBM. These are all perfectly valid and creative ways of treating the banana as a photographic subject. Another idea for the banana, shoot it in black and white. Really hone down the ideas of the light and the shade, the contrast, get the lighting on it right. Use window light for it. Works incredibly well on the unopened skins of a banana. And in black and white you could get some lovely subtle shading. By choosing a few bananas at different stages of ripeness from the grocers or the supermarkets, you're going to have an array of subjects that you can work with over the course of a few days, a week or longer. The key is to work the banana relentlessly, and when you get bored of it, put it to one side and do something else. And then you may find that there's just a spark of inspiration. Perhaps you've seen a shot somewhere else that you think, oh, that would work well with the banana. Go back and shoot the banana. If you've eaten it, go and buy another one. Working the banana will open your eyes to the way in which we can take everyday objects and treat them in different ways to create some very interesting photos. And when you've finished with it, you can eat it anyway. Right. God, I'm going to suffer indigestion from that. So let's make this a project for everyone. Post your images on Instagram with the hashtag #WorkTheBanana. And if you have some ideas that you'd like to share with us down in the comments, please do so. Well, in next week's video, we'll be looking at the best things you can do with a cucumber. This banana will help you improve your photography. Oh, you I can't